Well, after we learned the news of Vucevic entering the health and safety protocol, I really didn't think there would be any way the Bulls were going to sweep the LA teams on the road, especially after the performance against the Golden State Warriors. But here we are, and the Bulls put together back-to-back statement wins against good teams without their starting center. And no, I don't want to hear that this means that the Bulls clearly just don't need Vucevic or are better without him. We all know that is not true, that this team would be even better with him in the lineup. But the Bulls are holding their own while they wait for Vucevic to return. And you have to give a lot of credit to the guy playing in his hometown in DeMar DeRozan, who combined for 73 points between those two back-to-back games. And now the Bulls are sitting pretty near the top of the East with a record of 10-4. So what's going on, everyone? You are listening to Bulls Central here. Hope you're all doing well. How can you not like what you have seen from this Bulls team and their ability to overcome adversity in losing Vucevic, having one of their worst losses of the season, and bouncing right back and regaining that energy, playing with pace, hard-nosed defense, and above all, playing with confidence as if they weren't fazed by losing one of their better players? So many great things we saw from this game, because not only were the Bulls keeping up their defensive intensity like they have all season, but the flow of their offense was firing on all cylinders. And really, aside from DeRozan, who was the biggest catalyst in this win, you've got to give a lot of credit to Lonzo Ball. I talked about in my Bulls Weekly preview video how we needed to see a big game from Lonzo, not just on the defensive end, because we can see, obviously, that he plays well on defense consistently, but more so on offense, not just with his scoring, which he did, but also with his passing and facilitating and pushing the pace of offense, which he did as well. And in a game where the Bulls knew they were going to be undersized going against the likes of Anthony Davis, Dwight Howard, even Carmelo Anthony, the Bulls not only just won, but they absolutely embarrassed the Lakers on their home court. And I don't want to hear the excuses that, well, Anthony Davis got ejected. First of all, that's not the Bulls' fault. And second, the Bulls were already up 20 points at the point in which he was ejected. Like, the Bulls were going to be winning this game regardless, even if he wasn't. It was all Bulls in this one from the get-go. I don't even think the Lakers ever led in this game, if I'm not mistaken. So no, Anthony Davis staying in the game wouldn't have made a difference. The Bulls were all over this one, and DeRozan, Lavine, and Lonzo were all feeling it. Now, like I mentioned about Lonzo earlier, and the Bulls really needing him to step it up offensively in this game, because he really was MIA on that end of the floor in the games against the Warriors and the Clippers. And Lonzo certainly came up big in this one, knocking down 7 threes. It was 10 for 13 from the field in total, 27 points, was plus 25 on the night, and had 7 rebounds and 8 assists to go along with it. He also had 2 steals. Now, as much as I like seeing this performance from Lonzo, I still need to see it done consistently, because we saw this type of scoring output in the game against the Mavericks, and then he followed it up shooting 1 for 7 from 3 against the Warriors. I mean, that's kind of been my biggest thing with Lonzo, is he can play, offense well, but can he play it consistently? Again, I'm not concerned about his defense. He's been playing top-notch defense all season long, but we need to see him not just shooting and scoring like he has been, but also getting the team involved in running the offense, controlling the tempo, and setting up guys to get easy looks at the basket. And how about DeMar DeRozan? Closes out his trip to LA with another strong outing, putting up a ridiculous 38 points on 15 for 23 shooting to go along with 6 assists and 3 rebounds. The guy just continues to prove all of the haters wrong, that he was the worst offseason signing. And of course, proving everyone wrong in how he would fit with Zach Lavine, especially with both of them averaging over 26 points per game, the highest scoring duo in the league. And for me, what's been the most impressive about DeMar is just how efficient he's been with his shot. He takes high percentage shots, doesn't force it, plays smart basketball, and is cool, calm, and collected in the clutch. Not that we really needed him in the clutch in this last game, but when the Bulls have needed him to close out games, he's been able to do so. Now, for Lavine. And I paused because you guys know I had some choice words regarding Lavine and his performance against the Clippers in my last post-game video, because here's the thing. Lavine is an incredible player. We all know this. I know DeMar has been balling out, and so far he's been the better player this season for the Bulls, but Zach Lavine is still the Bulls' best player. But I cannot tell you how many times I was yelling at the TV with some of the shots Lavine was putting up in the third quarter. That was so incredibly ill-advised, playing isolation when the team was running so well together with their ball movement, not setting up plays, and taking fadeaway contested threes. A few deep threes too from well behind the arc. Like, Zach, I get it. You're playing in a contract year. But come on now, this is not how you get it done. You're still going to score, you're still going to get your contract, but make smart plays. It's possessions like that where you disrupt the flow of the offense and the opposing team snatches a long rebound and an outlet pass for an easy bucket. You're better than this. You have talent around you now. No more hero ball. Yes, I said hero ball. There was an ongoing joke about that last season on how many times I would say hero ball in my post-game videos. But anyway, Zach still had a strong night regardless, because even for the shots that he does take that maybe aren't the best shots, he's still so gifted that he knocks some of them down. Lavine finished the game with 26 points on 10 for 22 shooting, 6 for 13 from 3 to go along with 5 rebounds and 5 assists, and he actually had the highest box plus minus with plus 33 for the night. Now, Caruso had a pretty quiet night on offense against his former team, not scoring at all in this game, but it's clear that the switch to putting Caruso in the starting lineup with Vucevic and Patrick Williams being out was the right call, as the floor spacing and hustle defense in the starting lineup has been working nicely for the Bulls, and Javonte Green and Derrick Jones Jr. have been playing very well together off the bench. In fact, this was an incredible game for Derrick Jones Jr., who played 16 minutes, going 6 for 7 from the field with 13 points and had some huge defensive plays, one of which was on Anthony Davis where he straight up pickpocketed the guy on a one-on-one type play. I love how he uses his length to his advantage despite being relatively smaller than most of the guys that he guards. And it's funny because this was a guy who was out of the rotation to start the season until Patrick Williams went down with an injury. I love seeing him get some run, and I hope that continues. Also, shameless plug, you know the Bench Mob is back, and you got to get your Bench Mob gear at benchmob.com, a team that I currently am partnering with, supporting the Bench Mob at benchmob.com by using my code BULLCENTRAL20, all one word. You can get 20% off your order. They've got some great attire. You don't want to miss out that the Bench Mob hype is back. The link to the site and my code can be found in the description. Also, speaking of the Bench Mob, Coby White made his return for the Bulls in this game after suffering that shoulder injury back in June. He was finally cleared to play and made his season debut, which was a little slow. I mean, it was his first game back to action. I think we all expected he would be a little rusty after missing so much time, and we knew he would be on a minutes restriction as well. Coby didn't score in his season debut, and to be honest, looked a little lost on defense as well, but you got to give him some time. It's his first game back. I'm sure there are a lot of Bulls fans who have already been calling for him to be traded because he was minus 15 in last night's game and 11 minutes of action, but it's one game, guys. Let's see how he's looking in February and March before we jump to conclusions. What I did like seeing, though, is that he didn't really cut into Ayo's minutes, who still played 21 minutes and was playing just as aggressively as always. He did commit 4 fouls in 21 minutes, so maybe be aggressive, but also not commit too many fouls in the process. Obviously, the minutes between Ayo and Coby will likely change once Vucevic is back, since it's another man in the rotation, and it would likely mean that Caruso would slide back to the bench, making it an even heavier backcourt in the second unit. But we'll have to see what Billy Donovan does with his rotations once Vucevic is cleared to play. My hope is that we'll still be able to see Ayo get some run on the court, just because I love the confidence in which this guy plays. Anyway, another great win for the Bulls. They are off today and heading to Portland, where they will take on the Blazers tomorrow night. Of course, I'll have a live game chat for that on the channel as well as the Discord. Those chats have been getting pretty fun with the way this team has been playing, so feel free to join if you're interested. And as always, be sure to subscribe if you're a Bulls fan, as I do post daily Bulls content. Thanks again for tuning in, guys, and I will catch you in the next one.